You ever get frustrated with family members? Expectations that they have on you, things they think you should be doing? Yeah, Martha thinks I should be working my tail off with her. Oh, I wanted to I get it. She's anxious, she's worried. We're all concerned. We've just heard that Jesus has been arrested. And yeah, we're concerned. But the way Martha deals with it, well, she just goes on a rampage of working hard and diving into cooking whatever she can in the kitchen. I wanted to remind her of another time when she was anxiously working and what Jesus said to her. But in my frustration, I wasn't sure that would come off all that well. I didn't think she would really hear that message, so I decided to come out here instead. But I remember that time when Jesus spoke to her. It was a profound day for me. Martha, my sister, my brother Lazarus, and I, we live in a little town called Bethany. Bethany's about, a little over 3 kilometers from Jerusalem. And Jesus would often come and he would visit with us because we were so close to Jerusalem. It was wonderful to have him come and be with us, to just sit and chat around the table. He was like part of the family. Well, on this particular occasion, Jesus was there with all of his disciples. So as you can imagine, there was quite a crew, and they needed to be fed. Hospitality is very important in our culture. And Martha wanted to please Jesus. She wanted just to do something nice for the disciples, and so she was working away. Martha is a great cook. Oh, she makes the best roasted lamb. Mwah! You should try it sometime. I'm not such a bad cook either. I can make quite a good unleavened bread for Passover. The secret? The oil. But anyway, I digress. So, on this particular night, we were in the kitchen area, we were working, making all this food, working hard. And Jesus was in the other room with the disciples. And he was talking, they were asking questions, and I wanted to hear what he was saying. Jesus speaks with such authority, with such power, yet with such warmth and invitation. I wanted to hear just what he was saying. So I found myself just moving closer and closer. Before I knew it, I was sitting there at Jesus' feet amongst all the disciples. Jesus was talking about the incredible love of God for us. He was talking about forgiveness. He spoke about freedom, being set free from all those things that weigh us down. He spoke about loving one another. He talked about the kingdom coming and the kingdom being near. And there I was, just soaking all of this in. And Martha comes out, quite perturbed. I get it. Really on 2 levels. One, yes, that I wasn't helping her, and she was frustrated with that. But there was another piece. Women in the first century, they were not taught. Women were not disciples. They did not sit at the feet of a rabbi and learn. So here I was breaking all the cultural norms by sitting at his feet and learning from him. But Jesus didn't follow those cultural norms. No, we were all welcome. Male, female, slave, free, rich, poor, all of us were welcome to sit at his feet, to be in relationship with him, to listen to him and learn from him. So there was that. But as I said, there was also this other piece of Martha wanting my help and the expectation of that's what I should be doing. But Jesus' response, Martha, Martha. It was such a loving way of just greeting this person. Martha, Martha, you are worried about so many things. But you've missed the one thing that's most important. And that one thing was taking time to be with him, to learn from him, to sit at his feet, to take the time to be still, to be in his presence, to soak that up. And then from there, to go out and do whatever work needed to be done. We did finally get to have dinner a little later than probably what was expected or what we had planned. But what was great is everybody pitched in. People were helping, and we were doing it with joy and working together, and we were able to sit down and just celebrate. It was wonderful. And what we saw first was Jesus bringing us into a relationship with him and listening to him, and then out of that coming the things that needed to be done and enjoying the fellowship. That's what he wants for us. And you know, Jesus demonstrated this in his own life. Peter was telling me about a time that they were in Capernaum, and Jesus had cast out demons. He had healed a whole bunch of people. Oh, even healed Peter's mother-in-law. And then the next morning, everybody was clamoring to, have Jesus' attention. And so the disciples were off, and they finally found him, and he had gone off alone to pray. He had gone off to be still, to listen to his Father. He didn't worry about all the demands and all what the people's expectations. No, he knew what was first was to spend time with God. Well, when the disciples found him, Jesus then said, "We're going on to the next town." Jesus had heard from his Father what was to come next, and that they were to leave and they were to go on to the next town. And as you look through all the Gospels and the stories of Jesus, you see time and time again how he went away. He took time alone to be with God. That's what he wants for us. He wants our relationship with him first. To come to him, to be still, to be quiet, to listen and to follow his direction. I understand that you've been talking about Jubilee. Wow, is that right? That's so great, so exciting. But do you know what comes before Jubilee? Sabbath. Stopping whatever you're doing, all the busyness, and taking time to be with God. To be still. To listen, to learn from him. And then out of that place of trust and knowing and reliance and relationship, then he unfolds what work needs to be done. And it can be done joyously. I love my sister. She has a really good heart. But you know what I would want for her? Is what Jesus says in the Gospel of Matthew. To come away with him. For when we do that, we can live freely and lightly. Isn't that a way to live? Rather than in anxiety and worry and striving to do all these things. Come to him first. Well, I guess I should go back to Martha. You know, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if she'll just step outside for a moment. Step outside and take a deep breath and look at creation. Look at the trees, the sun, the clouds. Look up and remember God. And know that God has all things in control. That we can trust him. And even when things are tough and we don't know what's going to happen, he's in charge. We don't have to worry. We can live freely and lightly with him. I think that's what I'll do. Hey, Martha, want to come outside with me for a moment? Well, let's respond to that message. And so what I want to do now is for us just to take time to be still. We can do that with one another here and think about God. We've sung about his goodness, his faithfulness. Oh, he's indescribable. Desiring to be in relationship with him. So just take time, be in his presence. And if random thoughts come your way, don't worry about it. Either give thanks for maybe what's popping into your mind, like going out to lunch with somebody or whatever it is. Say, thank you, Lord, for that. Or if there's some concern that's on your heart, then lift that to him too as a prayer. But just think of being still in his presence. And we'll start off with singing, "Be still and know that I am God."